Welcome back to the channel. This is the Action Figure Grader, and over the last month or so, I've picked up not only some PSA graded trading cards for my collection, but I've also picked up 5 different display acrylic cases for PSA and BGS graded trading cards. So this is sort of a review video for those of you that actually collect this crap, that have some PSA cards they would like to ideally display and have never tried it. Typically, you just store them in a box or some kind of, briefcase or whatever it is you do with them. I personally would prefer to display them since I have some display space now, and I didn't really know much about the display options for PSA graded trading cards. So I found a few and 5 different options that I wanted to go through to give you the pluses and minuses and things like that for them. And the first one that I found online was on Amazon. These are very thin display cases that are acrylic, and all of these cases use like this U bracket that have these magnets on the inside there of the edges, and they just lock into place. You slide the card in, and it's not a terrible option, I think, for your cards. I think the only big issue I have with these Amazon acrylic cases is that they are a little bit thin. They're a little thin in terms of width, so they are not the most stable, and I don't think I personally would be that comfortable putting a very, very expensive PSA card in here, because if, as you can tell, they're just not super stable. The base of these are just too thin for that. But they're cheap. They're very inexpensive. They run about $14 or $15 on Amazon. And I think for your less expensive cards that you want to display, they're a perfectly fine option. So I've got some, Star Wars collectible card game cards, CCG cards from Reflections, things like that, that are on one little shelf. And so here's my IG-88 and my Lord Darth Maul. We've got a Boba Fett Reflections foil. Very, very cool cards. And these cases, again, are very perfectly adequate for maybe your less expensive cards. But the biggest issue I have with them is that they are, just kind of thin. So the other option that I found after doing just some digging online, there is a company called Aurora Cases, which I think is basically a mom and pop operation. But I've bought, several cases from them, 4 or 5 cases from them. And their cases are definitely an upgrade. They are a little bit more expensive. They run about $20 plus, maybe some shipping costs, things like that. They are on eBay as well as on Etsy. I would recommend buying on Etsy because they are cheaper on Etsy. And this seller, Aurora Cases, I'll put a link, if I remember, I'll put a link in the video description to their Etsy page. But I think they get these manufactured in China, so their supply is not that great right now because obviously we got some tariff issues, things like that going on from a macroeconomic standpoint. So I think that their supply is kind of low right now. But they make cases for both PSA cards as well as Beckett graded cards, BGS, but their BGS supply is, they're sold out right now. And they might even be sold out of the PSA cards now as well, too, but I'm not sure. But I think they're worth keeping an eye on if you have maybe some other cards that are a little more expensive, because these are a lot thicker. If you see how much thicker the Aurora case on your right is versus the little Amazon case. The other big problem with the Amazon case is that if you don't have the card in a PSA sleeve, they do slide around. Whereas the Aurora cases, they are perfectly measured and fit very snugly for PSA graded trading cards. And there are different size cards, which we're going to get to in a little bit. So some PSA cards will not fit in some of these cases that I'm showing you. But for the standard size PSA cards that, we know and love, They make great display options. They're very flush. They lock in really well. The magnet locks in very well, and the base is a little bit wider, so you can trust them with maybe more expensive cards, like my Giannis 2023 Mosaic that has been autographed by Giannis. So that's pretty cool. Really great option though, and another one I've got in the same Aurora case is my favorite NFL player, Derrick Henry. He's wearing his University of Alabama gear in this one. This is kind of like a draft card, the 2016 Leaf metal draft card for Derrick Henry, and it's a Gem Mint 10 Auto 10. So I'd like to get a Derrick Henry signed card while he's still in his Titans gear. He's now on the Ravens, of course. But this is a beautiful card, and I got it for a great price. Very happy with the price I paid on that one. So that is that. And so that's one option, is Aurora cases. And again, if I remember, I will put in the video description a link to that. Now, there's another option that is on eBay, and I found several sellers that are offering these particular cases. And so I think that they are like a generic option, but very, very similar in quality, I think, to the Aurora cases. And they are a little bit taller than the Aurora cases, so you can see that here. It's a little bit more buffer between the outside edges of the case and the actual interior portion that holds the card. They also do fit very snugly inside, very similar measurements, but as you can see, they're a little bit taller. And I personally think these are on par with the Aurora cases. They're about the same quality. You can make an argument that the bracket that holds it in place is a little bit wider and thicker, but very, very nice display cases. This is my 2023 Zenith Panini Zoom for Derrick Henry, which is a very cool card. It's kind of like a translucent card, but it's got Derrick Henry in his Titans gear there. Great looking card though. Very happy to have that one in a Gem Mint 10. And so that's one option. Again, this is the Aurora case on your left with my TK422 Reflections foil versus the generic that I found on eBay. And I'll put an affiliate link in the video description for these larger cases. But either one is very similar. I think they're both very similar quality. And here is a big one. This is a 1996 Topps Gem Mint 10 Kobe Bryant rookie card. This is not a card that is tough to find in a Gem Mint 10, but he is expensive. It's not really a supply issue. It's a demand issue. There's probably, 4,000 or 5,000 Gem Mint 10s of Kobe Bryant's 1996 Topps rookie. But this one is perfectly centered. That's one thing you got to really look out for on this card. That even slightly off-centered, like a 60-40 off-centered card, can still get a Gem Mint 10. And they'll go for cheaper. But if you want to get like a really nicely centered one like this one, I consider to be anyway, you're going to be paying a little bit more money, maybe 10 or 15% more. But this one is definitely a pricey card. But, Kobe, I don't know what to tell you. But, when he passed away in that horrible helicopter crash in January of 2020 with his daughter inside and several other people, it really affected me. I wish I could, explain why, but it was one of those sudden deaths for somebody famous that really affected me. And I've always enjoyed watching when he was playing, but his death really definitely hurt a lot. And obviously there's a huge market for Jordan and and Kobe PSA cards, but I figured that if you're going to get one, this is a pretty safe one to get. His 1996 Topps rookie. It's a very liquid card. During the height of the collectibles boom in 2021 and 2022, this one got up to, I think, to about $8,000, if not higher. And it's come back down to earth as all collectibles have. But I feel like, if I was going to get one, now's a pretty decent time. We talked about that in a different PSA graded trading card video, how the price really spiked. It kind of came back down, and then for the bigger high demand cards, it's starting to creep back up again on the price point. This one probably got down as low as $850 to $900, and now it's kind of creeping back up to $1,000 to $1,100. So I figured, if I'm going to get his rookie card, now's a pretty decent time. It feels like it's bottomed out, so to speak. So who knows? Obviously, if we have a recession, it could go back down again. But I think it was a pretty safe buy for how desirable that card is, and it's always going to be there's always going to be some demand for it. Now, all of those cases notwithstanding, there is an issue, and that's if you have these thicker patch cards and some autograph cards that have a thicker display case, or excuse me, a thicker PSA grading case than the standard size card. And what's frustrating is if you get one of these cards, you don't know. You don't really, I mean, obviously on the patch cards, you do know. Any patch card is going to be really in the thicker PSA case because it's got a patch on there, player worn patch or jersey card or whatever. Just because of the manufacturing process for those cards, it's got to necessarily be a thicker card. And so this is my Colossal National Treasures 2020 Josh Allen. This is a Gem Mint 10, and it's a triple colored patch inside. Josh Allen obviously is just on fire this year, and he's definitely one of those players I really enjoy watching. But this was at auction, I think, from Probstein Auctions, and it was a triple patch. I got a great deal on it. I feel like I paid about $400 for it. Great looking card, Gem Mint 10. But, with these thicker cards, they do not fit in the typical Aurora case or the Amazon case or the generic display case that I just showed you. So they require a specific case type. And everyone is sold out of them. Aurora and, all these others, they're all sold out on eBay and elsewhere. The only manufacturer that I could find that still had these thicker PSA patch card or autograph cards that are thicker, the only manufacturer that I could find was Titan Displays. And I kind of held off buying them because, quite honestly, their website does not do it justice how nice these cases are. The photos show like a rendering of what the case looks like, and it looks like a plastic piece of junk. So I held off buying one of these for a while, but I gave up trying to find any other display option for these thicker PSA cards. So I finally bit the bullet and bought 3 of them because they charge you $10 shipping, whether you buy 1 or whether you buy 2 or whether you buy 3. So I was like, well, if I'm going to get them, I'll just get 3 of them and hopefully roll the dice and see how they worked out. And I'm glad I did, because Titan Displays, which again, I'll put a link in the video description if you're looking for a display option for these thicker type PSA grading cases, they are really well made. They are super thick. I mean, look how thick that case is, even versus the eBay generics, even versus the Aurora display cases. So they are quite a bit thicker in, the price point is a little bit more expensive, but they deserve to be. They are a better case, thicker case anyway, and they fit these thicker PSA trading card cases perfectly. They fit absolutely perfectly snug. So a couple of I've only got 3 examples of this Titan display, but this is my Obsidian Aurora Auto for Steph Curry, and this is a Mint 9. There are no PSA 10s on the population report for that one, so that was a pretty expensive card. This one I really like a lot, Aaron Judge. I got to see Aaron Judge play last summer at Fenway Park. He crushed one about 450 feet at Fenway Park playing against the Red Sox. So I do like Aaron. I love watching him play, and every time he pops up on my TV, I stop what I'm doing to watch his at-bat. But this is a beautiful 1 of 25 Aaron Judge Tier 1, signed in bronze ink, and this is a 2022 Topps Tier 1, Mint 9 on that one. And I don't think on this one there are any PSA 10s either. So just a couple of beautiful cards there to go along with my National Treasures 3-color patch for Josh Allen. But Those are the Titan displays, and worth every penny. I'm glad I took the risk to buy them because, quite honestly, like I mentioned, Titan's their website does not do their cases justice whatsoever. Now, there is one other display option that is ridiculous and very, very pricey, and I would not recommend them unless you have a very pricey card, which I do. And this is called Phantom Displays. You might have seen the endless Facebook ads if you happen to be on their algorithm or you collect PSA cards. They crush you with the algorithm, and you get their advertisements on Facebook and Instagram as soon as they know that you collect. And they come in these ridiculous, very high-end cases. Phantom Display, and this is a Phantom Display Ultra. Now, they are sold out of their PSA card displays, but they do have them for Beckett grading cases, BGS cases. So because I happened to pick one up, I did buy one just to be able to compare it for this video. But, you know, when I have an expensive BGS card, this is a really good option because they still have those available right now. And they come in these cases, and this is my my Kobe Bryant signature card. It's a beautiful card. This is the Panini Gold Standard from 2010, 2011. And BGS does subscores for theirs. So this got a centering of 9.5, edges got a 9, corners 8.5, surface 9 for an overall 9 mint. And then the autograph, they also grade. So that one got a 9. But this is a Kobe Bryant auto card. Pretty awesome looking card. Great display ability on this one. And you can see how thick these cases are. I mean, they are absolutely crazy thick. You could say, actually, that the Titan displays are about the same thickness. So, you know, they're pretty comparable in terms of size. They're a little bit shorter and not quite as wide. But the other great thing about these Titan displays is that they're quite a bit less expensive than the Phantom displays. Phantom displays are very, very pricey, and they are well made. I'll give them that. They're probably they're easily the best made. But I think given the price difference between Titan displays and the Phantom displays, I don't think that there's enough difference in quality to justify the price tag. Phantom displays cost $65 each. Now, they had a coupon, or excuse me, not 65. I think they're about 50, but I think after shipping and everything, it ended up being about 65 bucks. But they had a coupon going, and I ended up getting this one for about 50 bucks shipped altogether. But I wouldn't pay that personally, given that Titan displays go for about $25 plus $10 shipping, and the $10 shipping is for whether you buy one or three or four. So, to me, the Titan displays are the best option from a price price versus quality and that kind of thing. The Phantom displays, it's really just, because I think you're paying for a lot of packaging. This packaging is really nice. I mean, they do a great job. They ship really quickly, and the cases are very, very nice. They've got a little etched kind of logo there that I put on the back because I didn't want to take away from this Kobe Auto card. Now, Titan displays, they do not offer it for BGS cards, to my knowledge. At least when I looked online last, they did not offer them for BGS graded cards. The only one I could find was Phantom displays. So, anyway, I just wanted to get one to try it out because I had the coupon. But I think given the price difference, I probably wouldn't lean this way unless you absolutely had to, or if you had a very expensive card like this that you wanted to display. But these things are bomb-proof. They are very, very nice cases. I have no doubt whatsoever that if I drop this from 10 feet up, that the case would probably not survive, but the card inside would. I just think that they are just bomb-proof. So it's a great display option, but just too expensive in my mind. But I wanted to at least, because I had 5 different acrylic displays, I just wanted to at least show them And, these are all UV protected. So for autograph cards like these two here, I do think it makes a lot of sense to get, a higher end case for your more expensive cards, and then just maybe rely on some of the less expensive options for your less expensive cards. No big, earth-shattering news there, but I just at least wanted to show them to you. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.